colors, or the picture of His Imperial Majesty, we are representing His divinity, as well as the Rastafari way of life. We must all understand this first principle, for without it, we cannot go any further into Rastafari. Period. Really, a true sound, non-partial. Okay, we're going to the second principle. We're going to the second principle then. The second principle pertains to the prophet, the Honorable Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. Look to Africa where black king will be crowned. These were the words of Marcus Messiah Garvey. With these words, many wise scholars, such as the Right Honorable Leonard Howell and others, began to look for meaning behind and beyond the obvious. Who, what, where, when, why, and how was this black king to make a difference in the plight of African people? All these questions were eventually answered. For the man who pointed us to the king also encouraged us to stop worshiping the god of the white man or the cavemen. This was very hard for many of us to do, and still is hard for many of us. Yet Howell gave the fuel to the flames that were already deeply burning within our hearts. What came out of this burning fire was a very powerful movement of Rastafari. Many other movements were inspired by Garvey's teaching. But Rasta is more than a movement. Rasta is a way of life which embodies the essence of blackness. This way of life has taken the teachings of Garvey to a level so profound that even our oppressors have even begun to show respect for I&I dedication or livocation. Garvey is now being studied in colleges and in universities all over the world. The system cannot understand how this one man was so powerful and continues to grow in power even in his absence. The true Rasta knows the reason why Garvey's power will never die. And I know that our words and actions and deeds represent the living continuation of the prophet that gave us so much. As long as his name is spoken with respect, his works performed in the manner intended, and his lessons taught to the ignorant among us, he will never die, but live on forever as the prophet who pointed us to Rastafari. These principles must be fully understood in every possible way. Otherwise, one of the most profound aspects of the movement will not be completely developed to its highest degree. We must rally behind this point with all our hearts and our minds to apply it to the modern day and modern time. Our prophet will continue through us. Rastafari. Second principle. Third principle, or the third principle of Rastafari is to fight against oppression, or to fight against downpression. Rastafari fight against downpression, or fight against oppression. This point is simple. Anyone who has difficulty in understanding the importance of fighting, against downpression in all its forms can never truly call himself or herself a Rasta. For Rasta opposes all forms of downpression. The physical downpression of our people was one of the aspects of our struggle. And Rasta advocates fighting like lions and not lying down like sheep to be slaughtered. We respect the spirit of the Maroons, the Ashanti, the Zulu, the Mau Mau, and all our African brethren who fought against the invasion of our civilization and of our freedom. Garvey came to send us and he showed us how to fight against educational and economic down pressure. As a result, all those black countries that were under the domination of European nations began to fight for their independence. Bob Marley's songs constantly remind us to fight against mental slavery, mental down pressure. So we do have the knowledge of how to fight in various forms, aspects, and representatives of down pressure. As Rasta, it is one of the foundations on which we stand as a people. The word Nyabingi means death to all black and white down pressers. And this idea is widely accepted by all true Rastafari. Therefore, we do not accept down pressure from anyone, be it black or white. If our brother is for down pressure, then we would be against him. That is how strongly we feel. We are peace-loving people, but if we have to defend our life, our liberty, and happiness with the sword, then so be it. However, we always attempt to employ words as a solution. First, because we are civilized people who live according to discipline and principles which we hold dear to our hearts, souls, and minds. The fight against down pressure is something the entire world should be able to identify with. There is no place on earth where the reality of war has not shown its ugly face. Wars are, for the most part, are fought because someone refuses to accept domination by someone else. Such is the case with Rastafari. We refuse to accept physical, mental, or spiritual domination by anyone, of anyone. Yili, Rastafari. Let's fight against down pressure. Fifth principle, repatriation. You can't wipe out that. Repatriation. You're Rastafari, deal with repatriation. Talk contrary, you get burned out. Repatriation. Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. These are the words of Garvey once again. To remind us of our responsibility toward our people. The principles or the principles of repatriation is also one of the foundation of Rastafari, which needs to be given due consideration and study. For us to fully understand the significance thereof, we must look both within as well as without ourselves. At home and abroad can also be applied to our minds as well as to our environment. Repatriation should start within our minds and our hearts of our people, in our words and in our actions, in our deeds. We must go back to Africa. We may never set foot on the continent in our lifetime, but we can live and represent our heritage each day we live in the world. Then, if one becomes able to go to the physical continent, then one should do just that. Even if one does not remain